Hi and welcome to episode 88 of the Gridiron Zero podcast. My name is Andre, and with me today is my co-host Antoine. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good. And
that's good. I see you got an extra big smile today because the way your game turned out.
Yeah, we'll be sure to get into that very soon. But this episode, this is the big Week 1 recap episode for Men's Division 1 and the Swedish Super Series. So that's where our conversation is going to be. We're going to go through the weekend's games, then we're going to go through our power rankings and some of the controversy surrounding that.
Yeah, we're already starting a week off ruffling some feathers, but it's all good. I think a lot of people are confusing the power ranking with kind of the team standings, and they're kind of saying, oh, well, we're undefeated right now, so we should be at a higher ranking, but our power ranking is based on teams that we think are better than other teams. So we'll break that down for you guys so that you guys, I mean, be in the comments all you want and stand by your team, but don't confuse the power ranking with your team standings.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the standings are what matters. Our power rankings don't matter for shit, really, but they're fun to do, and it's kind of the measure of how we view the teams right now. It's me, Antoine, and then Oside's over in Jordan, but he's also contributing to the power ranking here.
Yeah. Oh, and before we get started, a big shout out to Sweet 3 for the Sweet 3 play. It was very easy to sign up, obviously, but then it was easy to transition back and forth between games. So that was really good, and I got to watch all the games really that I had the time to.
Yeah, I actually had one issue though, and that was when I logged on my phone, it kept freezing. So it worked perfectly on the computer. Like you said, it's easy to switch between games, and the streams are like decent quality and everything. It's a good service. But I've alerted the Sweet 3 communicator that when I heard someone else had the same problem, that when they logged on to their phone, it just wouldn't the video wouldn't keep playing. The sound would keep going, but the stream would freeze after a few seconds.
Yeah, I found that. I did have one issue, and that was when I was watching the Marvels versus the Wolves game. Whenever they showed the replay would keep on playing at some points, and then it kind of made the transition from showing that replay to going back to the live video. That transition kind of lagged a little bit, and sometimes it did freeze. But it just is what it is. Little kinks, but it was still, still got to watch and enjoy all the games. So
yeah, so for now, I'd say get an account, get a subscription. I think it's worth it, and definitely use your computer for now because it doesn't seem to be quite working on the phone at the moment. But if you have your computer going, it'll work fantastic.
There you go, for sure.
Shall we move on to the games?
Yes, let's get into it. Let's start off with Friday night. The 2023 season kicked off with the Predators versus Kristanstad, and that turned out to be the most interesting and fun to watch game this weekend, in my opinion. Probably in your opinion too, playing in the game, and you guys got the win. But yeah.
Hey, I was about to have a friggin' heart attack on the sideline on that last drive. Jesus. But golly, watching that game must have been a thrill. And I'm just gonna say, I think we wasted Game of the Year on opening night. I think we actually did.
I don't think it's unless in the second meeting, unless I don't know. I could see it because I was like, oh my god. Is somebody going to win, or am I going to be right and they're going to tie this game? And I know how you feel about the tie, but it was looking like that for a minute there. I was like, oh man, they might tie, and it's going to be funny. But yeah, you guys pulled it out. Both teams, there was a few mistakes on both ends. Some things that needed to be wrinkled out, but it was just the competitiveness. Usually, you find with teams in Sweden when they get down, majority of the time the morale will go down, and it would dip, and then it will allow the other team to go on the run. But both teams stayed engaged in the game. Both defenses and offenses came out to play, and what a game! What a game!
Yeah, it was a hell of a game. I mean, it began a bit slow that first half. The Predators struck first. Our import quarterback, Myron Norfleet, he ran in his first touchdown in Sweden to open the scoring. We missed our 2-point conversion. And then Ystad, I don't remember exactly when in the game they answered, but they also scored a touchdown early in the game. I think also in the first quarter, made their extra points. So they were up 7-6. And we hit a bit of a lull there in the second quarter where we'd get some drives moving on both ways, but they'd stall out or there would be a turnover or whatever, you know. So we hit a bit of a lull there, but some good defense being played during that period at least.
But that second half is...
And the end of that second half is what really does it for this game.
I'm telling you, the competitive nature from both sides, man. I was just like, no team is giving up. No team is allowing another team to get too far ahead. They're staying in it. They're fighting. The play calling was great from both sides. But like I said, man, I think it helped you guys being at home because you could hear the crowd really getting behind you. It's just something about playing on your home field.
Yeah.
You want to give your home fans, you know, something to root for, and you guys definitely gave them something to root for in that one.
Yeah, I think having our home crowd there made it in a way that you kind of were more pumped up. I felt pretty pumped up during the game. I
saw you getting a little bit rowdy at the end of a couple of plays. I was like, hey, you getting a little bit rowdy over there. I like it.
No, I had a tipped pass that my middle linebacker intercepted, and I was like screaming coming up onto the sideline. I was like, hey, where's Edvin? Where's Edvin? Trying to find my teammate who had gotten the ball and just jumped up and hugged it. I mean, it's those moments that just make football so great, and I love it.
Yeah. Definitely a fun game to watch. It's gonna be hard to top this game for Game of the Year this year because it was just so well fought.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, for those who didn't watch it, we had a 20-20 score in the final 2 minutes of the game here, and Ystad, they put on a pretty good drive at the end where they hit number 4, Casper Rosenberg. They hit him deep in the end zone with 40 seconds remaining for the go-ahead score. Their extra point kick comes out low, doesn't make it, so it's 26-20. We get the ball back with 30-something seconds left. Take a few plays to drive down the field. Philip Yulin as a wide receiver, our former national team quarterback playing wide receiver for us, was absolutely clutch on that final drive, catching multiple back shoulder fades against... he was well covered. Shout out to Nassim. He was in perfect position. And Phil just made those plays so clutch. Got the touchdown in the end. And then our quarterback, Myron, on the extra point. We don't have a kicking team at the moment, so we were just going for 2 no matter what. And he scrambles around, rolls out, and he hits our rookie running back / wide receiver in the back of the end zone, Adam Tolston. So big shout out, game-winning catch on that 2-point conversion was absolutely huge.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Exciting, man. It's so exciting, man. I kind of, you guys, that game should have been played. That should have been like the last game of the year to decide who's going to the playoffs type of game, not opening night. Like what a way to open the season. That was definitely a good game.
Yeah, and then coming off of the excitement on Friday night, I was excited to watch some Super Series action the next day, but those games did not quite live up to the hype. Do you want to get your own game over with first, Antoine?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it a little bit. So I don't even know where to start. It started off very even, honestly. Very even, very well fought. We came out, we got the ball down to the one, went for it on fourth, and then ended up not converting on the fourth down play, which is fine, but, still kept our heads up. I think Tito scored first to make it 6-0, and then we came back, and then one of our imports, Rory, he caught like a hitch, spun to the outside, and then ran for like I think 30 yards, and then scored our opening touchdown. We made the field goal. We're up 7-6 before going into halftime, and then they just have a big play before the half, and then we go into the half. It was 13-7, I believe, and then. We're feeling good about ourselves. We go into halftime. Everybody, we're getting our game plan together.
Yeah, I mean, if you're down 6 points at the half, sure they had a big play, but like you're still feeling like, yeah, we're in this game. We've got a shot.
Yeah, and then we come out, kick the ball off, and then they run it back.
So they finish the first half by scoring on a big play, and then they return it for a touchdown to open the second.
Open the second half, yeah.
Damn. Yeah, as you guys can hear, I'm sort of reacting to what Antoine's saying because I wasn't able to watch that game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, then that has to be a gut punch, man.
It was a gut punch, but one thing our coach said that really resonated well with me, he was like, be where your feet are. So be present in the moment. Don't hang your head down low. Don't get too down on yourselves. Like, we're still in the game, so we can still pull us out. It's a big play. Pick your head up, pick your teammates up, and let's keep pushing forward. But yeah, then we had a turnover. We caught the turnover bug a little bit. Several turnovers from both teams, but they just Tito Soldiers. They just kept coming. They just kept hitting, kept punching, and we didn't have any responses. A few of our guys went down, and then. We're scrambling around trying to get guys in those positions to fill those positions. So some guys were more comfortable in their new positions than others, but it just is what it was. It just wasn't our day. We got a lot of stuff to iron out and figure out as a team, as individuals, as a team collectively. But we'll be better next time. So it just is what it was.
Yeah, I mean a big shout out to Toyosa, the Royal Crowns, man, going into Karlstad on their new home field and just
they played a good game. Definitely.
Just beating you guys in the second half straight up like that. Yeah, that's an impressive display to start the season by Toyosa, and it really changes my perception of them because I wasn't hearing too much coming out of Toyosa, but like I know they felt pretty good about themselves, but I was like, maybe them and Overblue were going to compete for the last spot, and then they come out and beat Karlstad in the opener like that. It's some impressive stuff.
Yeah, I think I said it in the preview episode. They were so quiet where it was making me a little bit nervous. I'm like, they're too quiet. They got something planned because they're way too quiet. It was a quiet, calm confidence.
Yeah.
But it was, like I said, it was a good game. We'll go back and we'll watch our film and we'll figure out what we need to figure out, obviously, and then we'll just implement it into the next game and push forward. So yeah.
I saw Toyosa's new import quarterback, Hamish, I think his name is, McClure. How did he look in his Swedish debut?
He looked good.
Yeah.
He looked good. The one and their wide receiver. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but number 9.
Is that the kid who used to play in Karlstad for a bit as well?
I think he was number 2. I believe.
Oh, okay.
But their wide receiver number 9, he made several big plays, good catches. He looked good. They just looked good. I mean, they ran. It was a well fought game, but it was just their calmness. They play with like a very calm approach to the game. No moment ever seemed like too big for them. You know what I mean? It was just very even. The tempo was consistent. There was never a dip in anything. So I don't know. They're a really good team. quiet too. Quiet, very quiet. It wasn't a lot of chippiness. Nothing very clean for a game. Couple, questionable calls here and there, but they came out and they won the game. So
yeah, I mean that happens in every game. The refs can't see everything, and
yeah, for sure.
If a team wins by 26 points, I think they've earned it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
So,
did you get to watch the Stockholm game?
Oh yeah, I sure did. So running parallel with the game in Karlstad was the opener in Stockholm, and as I suspected, Stockholm they looked sharp. They did. Their quarterback Mark Pappas looked sharp as usual. Matthew Retzlaff, shout out to him. He's been on the podcast before. He played a game, man. What a baller. I think he went for over 200 yards, and he barely played in the second half. He was so dominant. Like, it was an impressive display because, Örebro, they're not quite on the level as Stockholm. You could clearly see it, but Örebro, it's not a bunch of slapdicks running around out there on defense. They've got some dudes on their defense, but Retzlaff just cooked them. I mean, that was impressive, and they've got an array of pass catchers there in Stockholm that Pappas has to throw to. I think it was Blomgren on the outside also did some serious damage, and that O-line was pass protecting incredibly well. I mean, Örebro has a good D-line. I think it's Sebastian Nilsson, number 9. He played a pretty good game in their loss, but outside of him, Stockholm controlled Örebro up front.
Well, that's where the battles are won on the front. So, good job to them. And that score, like I was like, man, it's like a repeat of last year. But Stockholm is just that team that they're preparing for something bigger. They're preparing for European competition.
Yeah.
So.
Do you remember the score? I can't even remember the score.
I think it was like
honest.
48-12. I believe.
Yeah, that can be right. Yeah. So Örebro scores. I think they were down 18-0 before they got that first touchdown, and that first touchdown was it was one of the Lindeus brothers who returned a kick for a score. I'm sorry to the brothers for not being able to identify which one, but they play very similarly. But
yeah,
a big shout out to those two guys because they still played a pretty good game despite a big loss.
Okay.
And it was, again, I can't remember which one. I don't know if it was the same brother or it was different brothers, but at the end of the game, another Lindeus touchdown in the receiving game, but that was sort of a garbage time score when Stockholm had a lot of their backups on the field.
Yeah, but
good for Stockholm. Almost their entire roster got a chance to play, and they looked good all the way through. So
that's good.
Impressive display, and best of luck to them down in Swedish Hall this weekend. And we're gonna get into that during our preview episode, but no, not in Swedish Hall. Sorry, they got to win first. They're playing Kuopio. The Kuopio Steelers are coming into Stockholm. Sorry, that's a big fuck up from my side. No, the Kuopio Steelers, Finnish champions, are coming in to play Stockholm, the Swedish champions. That's going to be fun. Yeah,
that's going to be a fun game. And if anybody is free, make sure you go out and check out that game. Or is Sweet 3 broadcasting the game?
I hope so. I'm not sure, but I really hope it's going to be on there.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't.
No, I can't see why either.
But let's go ahead and move on to Sunday fun day.
Sunday action. So the first game to kick off on Sunday was AIK versus Limham, and what a game! This is one we had circled on the schedule. Like, are Limham gonna? Not Limham has beaten them 2 years in a row. Are they gonna? What are they gonna do now that they have to be the team traveling? And what a game they played.
They went out. I didn't watch most of that game because I was busy changing tires on my wife's car, so I had things to do. But I caught like a little bit of the second half, like while the Karlskoga game was in halftime. And the very first thing I noticed is that both of these, Limham and AIK, they have big lines, like offense and defensive line. They're just massive. And when I was watching the Karlskoga and the Gothenburg game, I was trying to compare like the size between the two lines, and they're just big. They're just big all around. Like collectively, like those two lines are like the biggest lines in Division One I've seen.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. They got some big dudes out there, but we all know size is not always a deciding factor on a football team.
True.
And in Limham's case, we knew that their O-line was good. They have Dennis at center and David Strobel playing left tackle. Those guys are really solid. They know what they're doing out there. And Strobel, man, he's a monster. We talked a ton about him last year, Osaida and I, and he's legit, man. But Limham, they've got dudes all over the field. They came out running a lot of 11 personnel. They were playing. They had two different tight ends on the field, and man, it looked a bit different for Limham, and it looked good. They were playing two back. They were playing with tight ends, wings, and they were both running and passing, and they were doing pretty much everything well. And Tilde Nilsson back there behind center, he was doing a really good job.
Yeah, I think I watched their last touchdown that they scored, and that touchdown you could kind of, I saw this through the film, and I don't know if it's because I pay attention to like body language and everything like that, but you could kind of see like the AIK side get like deflated after that score, and it was just like I was like, yeah, okay, I'm done watching this game because you just knew what it was going to be. So
yeah, I mean, I think AIK they have a good chance to bounce back, and
for sure.
they'll be competitive in other games. I believe that, but this is a real wake up call for them because they've been really confident throughout the offseason. We've had a few guys from AIK on here, and they were all pretty darn confident, and they go out and they get punched in the mouth in week one by a visiting team who traveled 6 hours to get there. Like honestly, it's a bit embarrassing to get beat by 3 scores in your home opener when you're the favorites going in.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You just got to go back to the drawing board. Who did they play? Karlskoga this weekend, right?
Yes, that's the only Division One game this upcoming weekend. So,
okay, so here's your chance. Here's your chance to bounce back. But Karlskoga did win their home game against AIK last year. So be confident, but be sure that you know your matchup. Be sure that you know like your opponent, and don't underestimate anybody.
Yeah, I mean we'll get into Karlskoga's game very soon here, but I don't think so. I think that Karlskoga, they're not on quite the same level as the other teams that we have ranked above them. Now we're talking power rankings before we're talking about it, but let's get into it. But I think Karlskoga is a team that if you underestimate them at all, they're going to come out and punch you in the mouth, and they're going to beat you.
Yeah.
So I think they're on a bit of a lower level than the other teams, but the gap is narrow enough to where if you underestimate them and you don't give it your all against Karlskoga, they're going to go beat you.
Yeah, they're going to beat you for sure. But yeah, let's talk about their game because that kind of wraps up the AIK Limham game. Limham looked impressive. They got out there. They won 24-6.
I think there's something wrong with the official score because it says 24-6, but I'm pretty darn sure they scored 4 touchdowns and made 3 extra point kicks. So I think it should be 27.
Okay.
And I think the stream was saying 27 as well, but the reported result is 24. So maybe something to look into, Sweet 3, but I think there should be a correction there, most likely.
Yeah.
But yeah, Limham looks impressive. They've definitely established themselves as being the team to beat right now.
You think they have a chance to go undefeated?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the team they play next, and I'm confident that we can give them a great game again, just like we did against Ystad. But the thing is, the series is even enough to the point that if you have even a slightly off day or another team has a really good day, Limham can fall, and I think they will rather quickly.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Karlskoga game.
Yeah, the game in Gothenburg. You had some fun commentators there for the Marvels. I really like those guys. They're very biased to the Marvels, and I kind of love it. It's fun to listen to. And hey, the Marvels, they had slightly more people show up than I thought they would. And they played a pretty good game. They're not as bad of a team as we thought they would be. But Karlskoga were a bit too much for them to handle on Sunday, and despite Gothenburg's best efforts in the end to get back in the game, Karlskoga managed to escape Gothenburg with a victory. I believe the final score was 20-16, if I'm not mistaken.